welcome to this training session on Microsoft Teams Calendar. My name's Simon from Ark. I'm an IT technician and I'm one of Ark's in-house trainers. So let's have a quick look at our Teams Calendar. This is our Teams Calendar. As you can see, there's not much on my week this week. It's intentionally so. And what we can do, if we want to, let's have a quick look actually. Let's just go around here. So if I click today, it will immediately go to today. So even if I'm, let's just click that randomly and go there. So where am I now? June the 18th-ish, 2021. And I'm putting something in there and I want to go back to this week where I am now today. I can just click today and it will come back to today. And that doesn't matter where we are. We can actually go forwards and backwards in time. So if you needed to see what you were doing this time last year or 2 years ago, or you're putting in future appointments, it doesn't matter where we are. We can just click today and it will come back to today. We can actually scroll through individual week by weeks or day by days, etc. By using the backwards and forwards arrows, or we can obviously, as I've just done, select a specific date. So let's just go with October the 6th, here we go. And that'll take us to October the 6th, which is a Tuesday. And we can obviously put in a meeting there if we want to. So we can put that in as Hello World. Here we go. I'm not going to put any attendees in or anything else. I'm just going to click save on that. And there we go. We have Hello World on the 6th of October. Again, if I want to go back to where we are now, I'm going to click today and it will come back to today. We have a couple of different views. We've got the working week, which is our default view, which is our obviously Monday to Friday. We have a whole week, which is obviously Monday to Sunday, or we can have day, which means it's obviously the day view. And again, if I just go back to October the 6th, here we go, that's because it's still in the day view, it's still there in a day. So, and then I'm just going to click back on today, and because we're on day view, it just obviously fills up our day. I quite like the working week view. It's the default view that you get, and I generally tend to find it's actually quite useful. So this is my working week. There is more on there, I promise, but to make it easier for everybody to see, this is kind of like a fake calendar I've set up for us. If we have a look at our calendar, if we wanted to put in a new appointment, we can actually just put in a new appointment. So let's just put in dentist. It's the 2nd of June, and that's 11 till 11:30. That's great because my appointment's at 11, so I should be done by 11:30. I hope I'm at the dentist by 11:30. We can put repeats in here. Oh, that would be terrible. So if I wanted to, I can repeat it every weekday, which is every Monday to Friday. We can repeat it daily, so that would be every day, Monday to Sunday. We can get it to repeat weekly. We can get it to repeat monthly, yearly, or we can indeed do a custom. So let's just do a custom, and I'm going to get it to repeat every week on a Tuesday, and then we can select an end date of July the 30th. Why not? So July the 30th, 2020. That's when I'm going to rename that dentist. I'm not going to the dentist every week, ladies and gentlemen. So let's call that. I don't know. Physio. Yeah, physiotherapy. I've sprained my knee and I'm having physio every week for a little while. That'll do. So here we go. We've got physio. There's no attendees required at all. This is just sort of like for me, and I'm going to push save. So here we go. Here's my physio appointment. And if I click next week, here's my physio appointment. And if I click the week after, here's my physio appointment. So I get a nice physio appointment every week up until July the 30th. So here's the last physio appointment. So if I click next, there's no more physio. Okay. If I actually just take you to my Outlook calendar now, I'm going to take you to Outlook. You'll notice, although I wasn't in Outlook when I created that appointment, it's there. So my physio appointment immediately comes from my Teams calendar to my Outlook calendar, which is actually kind of really cool when you think about it. You could potentially have two different calendars and you could be putting in stuff that doesn't quite marry up with actually what you want to do. So if you have one calendar between these two applications, that merge and talk to each other all the time, that's much better. So I'm actually now, I'm going to add an appointment in here for, let me think, I've had a haircut, I've had my physio, and then I'm going to have some coffee. Why not? And I'm just going to put that in as it is. I'm going to make it 3 o'clock on a Tuesday. I'm not going to make it recurring. We've got the same options there, and I can just save it. So after my physio, a lot later on, I'm going to have some coffee. And if I go back to my Teams calendar, sorry, click there, there's my coffee. So whichever application I'm in, whether it's Teams or whether it's Outlook, they kind of turn up at the same time, really. You can do a new Teams meeting straight from Outlook. So we can say, okay, what title is it? My coffee. My coffee idea. There you go. Oh, I missed out an E off coffee. No, that's a W. I can put in required. So Phil's going to be required. Optional, we could have Joe for the sake of example. I'm not actually going to do this because that will actually send them an email inviting them to my coffee idea, which would be bizarre. Phil would just be sitting there getting a random email from me saying I'm invited into a meeting tomorrow about coffee. So I'm actually going to leave that blank for the time being. But obviously I can invite these people, and then we can just push send. Can't be sent because there's no recipient names, which is fine. Would you like to save and close this meeting? And said yes, I would. So there we go, there's my coffee idea. And again, if I go back to Teams, it won't be long before that turns up in our Teams view. There we go, here's my coffee idea. If I actually wanted to do a proper meeting, we have 2 choices up. Well, actually we have 3 choices really. I have meet now, so I can actually meet now immediately. I can say, Simon West about coffee. I am not obsessed with coffee, by the way. So I can join now, and we've still got our blur and our background effects that we can add if we want to. So if I want to pretend that I'm in our London office, there we go. I can just put our London backdrop on there. I can obviously turn the video off. I can mute my microphone, etc., etc. Obviously, we don't want to have a meeting right now with just myself. That's a bit weird. But once we actually join that meeting, so I've created that meeting, I can now invite other people. So if I needed to, I can invite Phil, or I can invite Andy, or I can invite Joe. I can invite anybody I like particularly, but we don't really need to. So I'm just going to hang up because that's a very lonely meeting with one person. Let's go back to calendar. We also have, we can schedule a new meeting. So let's schedule a new meeting. The title for my meeting is going to be Trial of Meeting. I'm going to leave that blank for the time being. Obviously I could put in the people that I want, but there's a reason I'm leaving that blank. What time we're going to have this meeting and when. So we're actually going to have it on the 10th at 11:30. There you go, that'll be fine. It doesn't repeat. Now down here it says add channel. So what we can actually do is we can browse around and we can actually add a channel. So I'm going to go for my channel. I'm going to click the general because that's the channel. Obviously if you need to, you can let me just choose a channel that has other stuff in there. So if we went for the sake of example, we can actually have it not in the general, but a specific channel if we want to. And the same with Odin as well. And Ford should be somewhere up there. Again, there are different channels, but because my channel only has me in it 3 times with 3 different accounts, we'll just do that. We can type in some details about this meeting. Let's go with coffee and donuts. I like donuts. Donuts are lovely. And then I'm just going to push send. Okay, so that's push send. I will now eventually, he said, so here's this coffee meeting that I've created from earlier. Hopefully my invitation will be coming through into my Outlook very shortly. is it in my deleted items? Okay, so I'm actually going to accept that, and I'm just going to send the response. It doesn't make any difference. And now if I go into my calendar, it should be, when did I set it for? If I go into my Teams, when did I set it for? Yeah. That's not the right one, is it? Trial of meeting, here we go. Yeah, coffee and donuts, right, sorry. So the trial of meeting, it was the 10th of June. So if I look back in my Outlook on the 10th of June, here we go, trial of meeting, Simon, coffee and donuts. Lovely. So we can actually send it to a channel. So we invite those people in that channel. Let's just go back to there. So that's a new meeting. Obviously we can just do it with specified people. We can make it recurring, we can set the time of day, we can do all of those sort of stuff. Location, obviously we don't have any locations at the moment. I'm going to answer a question before anybody looks at this and actually asks a question. Obviously this scheduler meeting is the actual scheduler meeting sort of thing. It's the add meeting, new meeting there. There's a thing called a live event. And live events are great. You may want to use one, but I very, very, very much doubt it. Live events are absolutely brilliant. They're what I use when I'm training live. So this afternoon when I'm doing my 2 live training events, a live event is actually what it is. And what that is there's a very high limit on the amount of people that can join. It's like 1 million people or something stupid. You can't see them. They can see you, they can see what you share with them, but you can't actually see those participants. You can't hear those participants either. So it's a live event, it's more of a broadcast rather than a full-on interaction. You can interact because there's a Q&A sort of section and a message section if you know. But you can't see people and you can't hear them. So when I do my 2 training sessions this afternoon down here, it's very much like I'm talking to myself for a couple of hours. It's a bit weird, but it's just the way it goes. Whether you want to play with the live event is up to you. I can't see a particular use for it in a school environment because you haven't got that direct feedback. So it's a bit sort of it's a bit strange, unless you have assemblies every day and perhaps you want to live broadcast the assembly. So that's our calendar basically. We've been all the way through. We've obviously been up here. We know that we can pick our days. We can go back to today. We've got our working week, our full week, or just our day. We can add, schedule meetings. We can meet now. We can do live events, and we know that it's fully integrated backwards and forwards within our Microsoft Outlook. So this is actually really good. I hope you enjoy using it and try and plan your days accordingly. Have a lovely day. I hope you found some value out of today's session. Enjoy, and I will see you on the other side.